Okay, YouTube, this is going to be a short video about how to fix an issue that I've run into with a TRS-80 video display. It's a Model 1 26-1201 display. And I've heard that several other people have had this problem, so I'm hoping that this can be helpful to other people who've experienced this. The issue is this: when you turn on the monitor, give it a second to power up. If I turn on my TRS-80 and turn up the brightness, I'll mess around with the contrast a little bit. Alright, so you'll see that I have no video at all. Before, kind of earlier, I had noticed that there was a very faint... Oh, of course, hold on. Yeah, one moment. I forgot to plug in my computer here. So I'll plug in the computer and you'll see what I'm talking about. One moment. Ready? Aha! See very faintly memory size. So you do know, in fact, that it is working, but that something's wrong with the brightness on the display. What I've discovered is that the component that's failed is an inductor labeled L2 on the schematic. I'm going to show you how to replace that inductor, and we'll see that this monitor is working again. So, be right back once I get the soldering iron heated up and this open, and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so once you have the cover back, the back cover off, that's 5 screws here in the 4 corners and also one here in the back. You should be able to lift the cover off and snake the power cord through the hole in the back of the cover, and you'll see a circuit board. Do make sure, by the way, not to touch the CRT, especially the anode aperture right here. It's exposed. Make sure, of course, that the unit is unplugged when you do this. This is very high voltage stuff back here. You do not want to mess with it. But here we've got a circuit board, and the component we're trying to replace is marked right there as L2. You can see that I've already removed the faulty component. You can, if you want to test whether your L2 is working or not, you can actually leave it in circuit, and if you use your multimeter and diode test mode or continuity mode, you should, if it's working properly, you should have continuity between these 2 points, between here and there on L2. If you do not have continuity, then you probably have the issue that I'm fixing here in this video. So all you have to do is remove the faulty component and then replace it with, the schematics list this as a 7 microhenry RF choke inductor. So I've got a replacement inductor. This is a vintage inductor that I'm putting in. You could probably use any RF choke inductor. This is not a mission critical component. Hold on, I'm just gonna put the camera phone down for a second. I'll show you what I've done. You can use probably any RF choke inductor for this purpose, as long as it's fits the task. All right, here we go. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna solder it in place in those 2 holes. Remember, inductors do not have polarity, so you do not need to worry about this going in the right way. And just gonna kind of poke this through here. All right, so there you go. Sorry about that. Once you've got it through the holes, you can take your soldering iron and your solder, and you can just pop a little bit of solder on your iron, and find your L2 connection there, and just solder that bit into place. You're gonna do that with both connections, top and bottom. Over here too, L2. Make sure you have a nice snug connection and that the inductor doesn't move. And as long as that inductor is in place, there's no wobble, it should be just fine. Make sure it's not touching any of its neighbors. We'll go ahead and fire this up and see if it worked. All right, so I've got the monitor plugged into my CPU again. And a moment of truth, we'll see if this inductor worked. We're gonna go ahead and power on the monitor and wait for it to warm up, just about 3 or 4 seconds. And then we're gonna go ahead and turn on the TRS-80. There we go. As you can see, I've got full contrast and brightness again. Radio Shack, level 2 basic. So, that's how to fix your TRS-80 Model 1 1201 display if you have no brightness on the display, but you do have just barely visible type in the upper left-hand corner.